Yo, what's good? Everyday Superpower, the place where we talk about human dynamics, relationships, game, non-verbal communication, everything in between. Two links down the description of the video, the catalogue of body language, which is a YouTube playlist, teaches you how to read people through their subconscious behaviours. Second to that is the Patreon, which will teach you how to read people's attraction and repulsion cues. You'll internalise that, take that into the world. It'll teach you how to be Casanova. Now, let's move on to the topic of conversation. When you're speaking to a woman, when you're dating, when you're doing this, that, and the third, engaging with women, whether you've been in a relationship for 10 years straight, whether you've been in a relationship for a never, like if you're just trying to attract the woman, don't go talking about the successes of another man. If anything, don't talk about another man full stop. It's unnecessary. Don't sit around gossiping about another man if you don't like him. Just don't bother, man. Don't bother. Why are you, who is attracting this woman who is interested to the point where she's actually there engaging with you, why are you going to spend that time, if you are interested in her, concentrated on another man, giving him power, right? Oh, well, I'm just talking down on him. Well, the powerful man doesn't need to do that, right? Let's say there's a multi-billionaire, yeah? And let's say there's a bad person on the street. Someone's mugged an old woman on the street. That billionaire is going off doing his own thing. He doesn't even acknowledge it. It's off of his radar. He does not care. Why should he care? Even though that's a bad thing, right? We can all agree on that. He does not care. He's not present. He's above and beyond. He's got his own problems to deal with. Imagine if he sat there talking about that, giving time out of his day to that person. Imagine the energy that had been sort of concentrated to that random stranger on the street, that this successful, let's say you're successful, not born into it, right? Let's say this powerful, successful man who has some degree of status is like creating a parallel to this man by actually engaging in some sort of discussion regarding him. It's to be ignored. What you ignore is your power. What you give attention to only grows in strength, right? So if I'm ill and I pay attention to how ill I feel, it's not going to make me feel better, is it? Because I'm only going to emphasize that and highlight that. Yeah? Pay attention to my hoodie. Look how red it is. Just take a moment to look at it and how red it is. It's bright, isn't it? It's super bright. And when you pay attention to it, you can only emphasize the color of it, the brightness of it, the boldness of it, the eye-catchingness of it. It's sharp. It's to some degree horrible. Look how red it is. So don't give it power. Don't give it energy. If you just listened to my words and looked away and got yourself busy and did other things whilst listening to me, you wouldn't pay attention to this. It would become nothing. It would become meaningless. So when you're there in bed talking about another man to a woman, and I will say that to say this, I was young. I had no game, right? I managed to work myself into a situation with a girl who was older than me, a woman who was older than me by about 3 or 4 years, which at that time was crazy, right? To this day, it's crazy. I don't really want to date no one seriously who's older than me through life experience. And she ate me alive. And I was a young kid, and I'd sit around and chat shit about people. And to put a long story short, it didn't work in my favour doing that, alright? So I've got the experience doing it. I see it happen. I know that it manifests interest in the person you're discussing this with. If I go to my girlfriend of 5 years and say, oh, he's really annoying me, he gets on my nerves every single day, what an idiot, what a douchebag, I'm not draining him of power by doing so. I'm sparking interest in her mind of who this person is and how he has power over me. If anything, I'm lowering my status and giving and pedestalizing this man above and beyond myself in the eyes of her, because she's now perceiving this man as greater to the point where he's got me acting like a woman. Yeah? Because I'm getting emotional over it. Do you see where I'm coming from? He's touching me emotionally, and as a man, I should just deal with it and just brush him to one side, because he's nothing but a bug, a beetle, right? I'll just brush him off. She don't even need to know about it. I don't need to sit around talk about the next man. Let alone praise another man around her. Sitting around now, let's say I'm a general man. I watch sports, yeah. I'm gonna sit around talking about some successful man around my missus. It's pointless. And I say that as a separate example purely as she's probably never gonna meet this guy, and it's self-explanatory that he's like a well sought after man. Due to his status, fame, money, whatever it is in between, he's a successful sports star, and he's probably not going to choose her. But who am I to sit around acknowledging somebody who doesn't acknowledge me? Telling my missus, oh yeah, by the way, this man is just in my mind. I could be thinking about being productive. I could be thinking about providing for the sake of you. I could be thinking about creating something and following my life's purpose and how my ambition is going to take me in the right space. I could be thinking about this. I could be thinking about these attractive traits that you've got in a relationship with me as a man, hoping that I had possessed. Me as a man that should possess these traits in order to give you a better quality of life and keep you in your feminine because I'm in my masculine, right? So like yin and yang, we can connect and develop this momentum together and become as one. But instead I'm getting in this feminine state and obsessing over a man and talking about his successes. Oh, I'm so glad that he scored a goal the other day. And she's thinking, at least on a subconscious basis, what's going on? Did you bet any money on that? If I bet money and made money off of this guy, I'm sure she'd be happy, but that's not the case. I'm just bigging up some fucking man. It's sad. I don't support no other man to that extent. Ever. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Because that man who's become incredible in his field, no matter what it be, neuroscience, rocket engineering, you know what I mean? Professional veterinarian, doctor, anything in between, right? Anybody who's excellent in their field and is successful in their field, they couldn't tell me naught about body language that I don't know. They couldn't tell me anything about my particular niche pockets of information and my specialised interests that I know. They couldn't tell me about that because we are all but men and we all have our own interests, our own pursuits, our own meanings to our lives. Why should I pedestalize the next man because he's invested his time and energy elsewhere? It does not matter how many TV screens are there, how many cameras are on him, how much money's in his bank. It's meaningless. It's nothing. Fiat finance means jack shit. So I'm there going out of my way to empower this next person and shrink myself to the size of a bug to this woman I'm trying to attract. It's going to be backwards. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's got an incredible knock-on effect. She comes up to you, right? She says, oh, Josh flirted with me the other day. And she's going to look at you and see how you react. And if you start getting in your emotions and acting all defensive and acting all, it's only gonna give more power to this next man. You say, right, what do you want me to do about it? Like, what is it a bother to you? Why does he feel like he has a right to do that? Like, you know where I'm coming from? I got more important things to deal with. You as a beautiful woman, you and your feminine, do you think you can walk through life and not get given some degree of attraction from the men around you? There's men who are way more successful than me. Men who've got way more to offer than me who are coming up to you on a day-to-day basis. I can't sit around thinking about that. That's irrelevant. You make your own choices up. You got your own life, but they won't give you what I got. You know what I mean? So don't go out of your way to sit around talking about the next man to these girls. Just don't do it. Just do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. It's pointless. It'll bite you back. You'll shoot yourself in the foot. You'll think, oh, I wonder why she went off of me. You know what I mean? Don't bother. And on that note, I'm signing out. 2 links down in the description. Check them out. I'm signing out. Peace.